Hey there, I am D. So, today's episode starts with a, title card that says, "In loving memory of Elizabeth Sladen." Yeah, I kinda saw that one coming. I mean, she did die this week, and for those of you to whom the name doesn't ring a bell, she's the one that portrayed, what's her name? Sarah Jane Smith during pretty much the old series, The Doctor Who, made a few guest appearances in the newer series, and was pretty much her own star in the spin-off, The Sarah Jane Adventures. Personally, I was never really a fan of Sladen, or her character for that matter, but I'll have to admit, for someone who's in her 60s, I mean, she's during her time in the new series as well as her own spin-off, she seems, quite energetic for someone of her age. I guess I at least have to admire that much about her. So yeah, to me it's a real shame that she's gone. Anyway, today's episode starts a little weird if you ask me. I mean, for one thing, last time we saw the Doctor and his companions, they were still with him, so why exactly did they get separated all of a sudden? For that matter, why is he leaving traces of himself all throughout history, like appearing in a Laurel and Hardy movie, or becoming a fairy tale, a part of a fairy tale anyway? Oh well, he's the Doctor. He's always trying to do the impossible, or turning it up to 11, or whatever you like. And given that this is the 11th Doctor, me saying turning it up to 11 is... well, never mind. Anyway, so today's episode was... well, as is usually the case with anything Moffat writes, weird. Now, granted, it sets the tone for what the rest of this show is gonna be about. I mean, the episode starts with the Doctor, or at least some future version of him, dying. So the rest of the series, I guess it's about the characters preventing his death. But of course, well, anyone familiar with the grandfather paradox knows how this is gonna work. I mean, if you're going back to the past to try and prevent the future, then if the future never happens, then how could you possibly come up with the idea to travel back into the past and change the future? So, it's a bit weird that they would suddenly introduce that into the show. I mean, so far the grandfather paradox had little to no consequences in the show. But hey, as even Moffat himself has said about Doctor Who, you're making a show about time traveling. Can you really make a complete set of rules to which this universe can actually hold on to? Or differently put, can you really build up a canon for this universe? Actually you can, but hey, some writers are that creative and at the same time that lazy. And speaking of which, so this series is apparently introducing a new alien that are quite similar to those Weeping Angel things, except whereas while the Weeping Angels cannot move unless nobody's looking at them, in this case they introduce an alien race which appears to be some kind of mixture of the Roswell Greys and the Weevils from the spin-off Torchwood. But anyway, these creatures can only be remembered if you keep looking at them. I mean, you see them, and you're of course afraid at the sight of them, turn around, and you forgot you've ever met them. Well, it is creative, but I gotta wonder, last series he introduced some kind of crack in space, and anyone who gets sucked into this crack would be forgotten, as though he or she were never born in the first place. And in this case, he introduces something that will be forgotten once you look away from it. What's with Moffat and memories the whole time? Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's creative, but why do all his storylines involve memory in some shape or form? Well, perhaps, much like any writer, he actually expresses his fear of being forgotten. Well, like I said, it's creative, but it seems to be a recurring theme with the guy. And of course, I haven't seen the trailer or the show ends, the credits roll, and suddenly there's this whole thing about the coming up next episode. I didn't watch that. Spoilers, which seems to be the favorite word used throughout Moffat's episodes. But anyway, but from what I've seen in this episode alone, well, I think I got quite a bit to look forward to. And also, just to catch. Apparently, you can write your own Doctor Who short story, but I didn't get all the details, but well, I guess I'm gonna have to look into it, and well, perhaps I'll end up writing my own Doctor Who short story. Well, so on my end, that may be something for you to look forward to. But like I said, I don't know all the details, so I may be wrong about this. So depending on what it's really all about and what I find out about it, well, we'll see. This was D. I'm signing off.